Hello, my name is Adam. I am an anthropology and religious studies major, and my topic will be a broad overview of LGBTQ+ perceptions among the Judeo-Christian community, focusing on the United States. I wanted to start off by saying a verse from the Bible that I think will help to keep in mind for some context while I'm discussing these topics. The verse is Deuteronomy 22:5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto the man, neither shall the man put on woman's raiment. For all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God. This is a segment from the Geneva Bible, which was created by Puritan refugees in Switzerland, with the goal of creating a Protestant translation from as close to the original text for the most authentic representation of the Bible. This version of the Bible was used widely during the early British colonial period, especially among Puritans. This quote can also be found in the Torah, albeit in slightly different wordings, as they are translated by different people with different perspectives. While some Jewish people still hold true the ideas of gender identity, based on literal interpretation of the scripture, there are also many Jewish people who interpret it in a different context, accepting LGBTQ+ people. They argue that there is no direct prohibition on all gay relations, rather vague concepts that lead to different interpretations, and that the teaching of human acceptance, since we are all reflections of God, is a more clear and important idea to follow. As for trans people, the scripture mention is often interpreted in context of the whole chapter, which discusses separation of male and female practice while not defining what is man and woman, leaving a vague area for both acceptance and non-acceptance. The perspective on gender in the Torah is very clear as male and female. However, in many Jewish cultures, they accept more than just male and female through gender forms found in the Talmud. These include references to male and female transitions by birth and by later change, which were all used for what today we might consider eunuchs. But because gender was not as black and white, they could have also been interpreted to include trans people and some varieties of intersex folks. There is also included a separate delineation for explicit intersex people, which is seen as half man and half woman. The final category has no clear one-to-one for modern gender identity, as it is used very rarely and in different ways. The general idea, though, is that it represents an unclear or easily determinable gender or sexual identity. Often the argument of violating God's laws is used by conservative Christians to devalue the LGBTQ+ community, using the verses like the one mentioned earlier. These ideas mixed with Victorian modesty and an emphasis on the abnormality of non-male female relations by early sexologists led to current political trends trying to define gender as determined by birth sex. Trump, in his first couple months back in office, has already signed multiple executive orders to enforce birth sex instead of gender preference in federal institutions, as well as signing an order to define male and female as what you are born as. This trend of policy led to the states being empowered to pass their own legislation that makes harder the lives of queer folks, especially trans and gender nonconforming individuals. In West Virginia, this was seen with the bill to reflect Trump's executive order on birth equaling gender being passed, adding it to the state constitution, while also including that bathrooms are only male-female and defined by birth sex. In Idaho, many legislations have been passed targeting transgender individuals, one of which allows for medical professionals to deny any care on the basis of personal religious morals. The divide on accepting the LGBTQ+ community is not as unanimous as seen in recent politics and media, with it being a big topic in Protestant Christianity for many years. The mainstream Methodist and Episcopal churches have shifted into being queer-affirming churches, resulting in recent schisms and new official doctrines putting to writing their support. The organizations born out of the United Methodist Church and Episcopal Church are the Global Methodist Congregation in 2024 and the Anglican Church of North America in 2008. These churches are a culmination of Anglican and Methodist churches, mostly in North America, but also including some in other continents that rejected the more liberal ideology, united in a shared teachings that the LGBTQ+ community is not in line with what the Bible teaches. While some church organizations were born out of strict orthodoxy, some are born out of love. One example of this would be the Metropolitan Community Church, which was created by queer and queer-forming individuals to teach the ideas of the New Testament of love thy neighbor. The churches within the Metropolitan Community Church are often local and reflect the worship style and ideology of the worshipers, varying widely depending on where you are attending and the background of the preachers and congregants. After the creation of the Metropolitan Community Church, the pro-LGBTQ+ Christian community grew, with the first mainstream Protestant denominations ordaining an openly gay priest. This would be the United Church of Christ in 1972. Many churches since have become safe havens for the LGBTQ+ community or have adopted a more neutral stance.